let's talk about Ram mile per gallon, because this has been a topic coming up quite a bit in the comments, things going on. So the mile per gallon numbers were out, and by the way, I'm gonna tout us here. We broke this news in the correct way. So there's a site called stellpower.com that had the story, and turns out we didn't agree with their numbers. We didn't understand where they get them from. So Jill and I did much back and forth, and we had some confusing times at ourselves. We confused ourselves, but we had the numbers.
Journalism math is always sketchy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we were trying to figure this out. So basically, we had to throw out what Stell Power had published, and I was pretty proud of us that we had got numbers out first, and so you saw it here first, or breaking news, or whatever you want to say in the stuff, because it's whatever. So the numbers are interesting. So I'm going to go from the top, because this is the easiest way to make sense. So the 3.6 liter V6, we have a high fuel efficiency vehicle, which is still out there, which I find fascinating. I need to do more research on what they're doing this year for high fuel efficiency. It used to be like they had a really interesting, weirdly shaped tonneau cover. They put the side steps on. They changed up the front air dam. It was kind of what they deal with back then. And so a little bit better fuel economy with that one. Standard output Hurricane and high output Hurricane. And we have 17, 24, 19, and that's the 2025 models for the standard output Hurricane. Down below, we did 2024 Ram 1500. So we did some comparison numbers. And basically, the standard output gets about 2 mile per gallon highway and 1 mile per gallon better city, or combined. The city is the same. And I learned a lot of stuff in this article. I learned number one, that starting in, what did I tell you, 2022, the Ram 1500 was only available in eTorque. You only get it with a 48 volt system on top of that.
I think 2023 was the first year they did away with the
2023
would have been the
right
eTorque only.
23, 24. So basically the last 2 model years, the Ram 1500 was eTorque only. I should have said more accurately. So 48 volt hybrid, mild hybrid system, which I did not know that. I didn't know that they got rid of the natural, the non hybrid version of the Hemi engine. I was not aware of that. The other thing that I thought was interesting was this whole conversation we're having online, and there's a lot of arguments going on right now, whether or not the 3-liter high output Hurricane should even be remotely compared to anything of the prior generation Ram 1500. People are suggesting it should only be compared to the 6.4 liter supercharged TRX, which I disagree with. The TRX is a whole different animal.
Yeah, it's like 200 more horsepower.
Right, it's a whole different thing, but people want to make that argument. And so, anyways, I'll be curious. Put your comments down below. What do you guys think on that?
I mean, to be fair, the high output Hurricane is replacing the powertrain that was in the TRX, but it is not as powerful as what was in the TRX.
Yeah, and to me,
I'm going to guess the Ram Row will have this 3.0 liter high output.
Yes, I agree too. I agree completely as well. So I thought it was interesting that argument came up, and I don't know what to decide on it, because again, the tungsten is the trim that gets this high output Hurricane. The tungsten did not exist last year. So do you have apples to oranges to apples? I mean, how does the comparison work out? It's so interesting for that discussion. But basically, the Hurricane engine, it's slightly better fuel economy, except for the 4-wheel drive version, which gets better highway, but the same combined, but no, less, same combined, but 1 mile per gallon less city. It's like, it's a total head scratcher how that works out, those numbers. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm curious what you guys make on that. Let's get some comments here. Yeah, so the big thing with Hurricane, they recommend 87 octane. The Hemi was recommended with mid-grade. Well, so that's an interesting conversation as well. I saw a story in MSN. I didn't click on this morning, but somebody had wrote a story and like, why do we even have mid-grade fuel? Yeah, and I thought it was a really interesting story. I was like, why do you even have mid-grade fuel? Only the Ram Hemi was recommended with mid-grade. Everything else is either like 87 or in my area is 85 or premium.
Yeah, and I also want to say I believe the high output Hurricane is recommended premium.
Yes.
So it's just the standard output Hurricane is recommended with 87.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. Um, uh, Brandon says the Ram 1500 limited and Longhorn versions also come standard with high output Hurricane. I'll dig in that one. I'm not
I know
quite
the
sure.
tungsten definitely does.
Definitely was. Yeah.
I think that it is available in lower trims, but I don't know that it's standard with the high
Yeah.
output.
Let's check this out. While I'm looking for this, there was a comment about what about the 23 Rams, 24 Ram 1500s not selling? Guys, that happens all the time. Like there's a big argument online about making big deal about that. Automakers don't care. Those throw about incentives on those trucks, and they blow them out. It's just business. It doesn't mean the new model won't sell and whatever. Ram's got to move forward. They cannot not bring new model out. They have suppliers that had new model parts for. They have dealers who want the new model, buyers who want the new model. Like they don't automakers. It's just the whole idea. And somebody said, "Tim, you're just drinking the Kool-Aid. Ram's going broke." Dealers are franchisees. They're paying a lot fee to have these trucks. They don't. I mean, dealers just want to sell them. Ram will just say, "Here, a bunch of cash," because cash in the hood always sells trucks. It always does. So I'm looking. I'm on the building price tool for the limit because I think it's interesting. That's an interesting comment. I want to look. I want to double check this.
Also, just put
Interior.
the powertrain link up at the top.
There it is. Thank you, Jill. So 3-liter Hurricane high output is standard. Oh, it is standard on
Okay.
limited. All right. Interesting. So limited. So let me go back. Limited Longhorn and Tungsten. So basically anything more than $80,000 about that range has the high output. So and that's going to be frustrating too because you can run lower octane in the Ram truck because I asked the engineer if you can do it. You can. It does have the powertrain is available to be able to run that. It's got NOx sensors in it to avoid that. But you for max performance, you need premium fuel. Which I remember a couple years ago when Nissan came out with premium fuel because they wanted the best in class Titan, and it created lots of conversation online about that. And I still do not like premium fuel.
Well, and Mazda is famous for giving you 2 horsepower numbers for regular fuel versus premium fuel, and they make no recommendation one way or the other whether you opt for premium fuel or the regular. But
Yeah.
essentially, what they say is, if you go with regular, to each your own. This is your horsepower rating. If you go with premium, you get like 20 more horsepower. Does it make a difference? I don't think so. So I think a lot of people in Mazda land are probably just using regular fuel.
Yeah, we had our Mazda, we just use regular fuel. Doesn't the S standard output recommend premium in towing? Yes. But who in the hell is going to pull over, drain their gas tank, go put premium fuel in when they're towing? Like I've always Ford has done this for years, and I've always chastised Ford for this with the EcoBoost engine, and they've offered that in the owner's manual for years. That's such a BS thing. I just it's just dumb.
So essentially, what that means is, if you know you're going to be towing, 2 weeks before you tow, you just start filling up with premium.
Yeah, I would never
You
do
don't
that.
need to drain your tank. Just
I would
start
never do
filling up
that.
with premium.
I
Eventually, you'll get
never I just don't plan that far in advance. Just there's no
there.
way.
Well, duh. Are we having a live stream tonight? No. How about tomorrow night? Can't do tomorrow night. Okay, let's do Wednesday.
Yeah, basically.
Not as
No,
far in
that's not
advance
what
as we plan.